What's up, guys and gals? It's the Tyrant here, and welcome back to my weekly Q&A session where you guys ask the questions and I give you the answers. If you can't already tell, I'm sure you can, I'm a little under the weather. It seems like every time I get better from one illness, I end up getting sick with something else. It's back-to-back stuff here, so I'm going to keep it a little bit short this week. I do apologize. So thank you for all submitting your questions. For those of you who want to know how to submit your questions, you're not sure how, there are three ways you can do it. You can either submit your question in the comment section below of this video. You can hit me up on Twitter. Or if you are a patron donor and you have access to our exclusive Discord, there is a section in there just for you. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Our first question comes from Addison Gillespie. And Addison asks, Q&A, realistically, I can see the modders of Halo Online joining forces with the Installation 01 team since Halo Online's development is halted. I know everyone wants 343 to scoop them up, but they've already been hiring up a storm. What do you think is more likely for the future of their portfolios? Well, I mean, it seems like they've already openly discussed that they're already working with the team of El Dorito. I don't know if that means that they're bringing them on as official staff members for 343, but it seems like at the very least they are talking with them, and that's a smart move because a lot of people have been calling for a more classic Halo experience, and after they saw the popularity, the very quick popularity that grew with Halo Online just over the course of a few days, that speaks volumes to Microsoft. And so I would hope that they would have a future at 343 Industries. In terms of what they would do with Installation 01, I don't think Installation 01 needs to work with them. No offense to either team, but I think Installation 01, the good folks over there, have their own vision, and they're coming along just fine with theirs. So I'm looking forward to seeing Installation 01, but I think the folks at El Dorito have better options over there at 343, but I'd love to hear what your thoughts are in the comments below. Our next question comes from Halo 2 Jackal Sniper, and Halo 2 Jackal Sniper asks, Q&A Tyrant, do you think that the Hunters could possibly join the UNSC in Halo 6, considering they probably won't care about morality and what Cortana is fighting for, and they have no one else to lead them? Okay, well, no, I don't see them ever doing that. Keep in mind that they didn't always have the Covenant leading them. The Covenant basically took them over. If I see them aligning with anybody, it would probably be either the Swords of St. Helios or the Banished, but I can't ever see them aligning with humans. You know, we already saw in Halo 2 them align with the elites before, so I could see something similar happening in Halo 6, but outside of that, no, I don't think they would ever align themselves with the UNSC, but interesting possibility there, my friend. Our next question comes from Slender Gaming, and Slender Gaming asks, Q&A Tyrant, do you think that with the ever-growing Call of Duty franchise that it will become a true rival one day and possibly kick Halo from its throne over the FPS genre? Well, I hate to say this, but Call of Duty has already been a pretty strong rival to Halo for over a decade now. That doesn't mean that I think Call of Duty is better. I think it just depends. You know, everyone has their own opinions about what game they prefer over the other. I think one major benefit that Call of Duty has over Halo is that it releases a new FPS every single year. They basically outsource to different companies, so they have different franchises that they use within their own franchise. Like you have the Black Ops series, you have the Modern Warfare series, and so on. And Infinite Warfare was one of the newer ones. So I think that because they keep releasing a new experience every year, that keeps people coming back for more. They don't have to stick with the same game for too long, so they keep getting new stuff out there for them. I'm not saying Halo should do that, but I think that what we've seen from Halo is that they try to release more games, but they're always like spin-off games. They're not always first-person shooters. Like, for example, Halo Wars is an RTS. When you look at Halo Spartan Assault, it's a top-down shooter. So I would like to see. I guess the kind of point I'm getting to that is I think that they're taking too long of a break right now, and if they continue on this path, yeah, Call of Duty could eventually just become the household name. As a matter of fact, even when it comes to talking to people about video games, whenever I meet with someone who's not as familiar with games, they're usually more familiar with the Call of Duty franchise than with Halo. So that's saying something. So I hope Microsoft is working on something really nice for our next installment. So hope that answers your question, my friend, and thank you for stopping by. Our next question comes from Gospel Ghost, and Gospel Ghost asks, Q&A Tyrant, do you think 343 should make a game based off of parts of the Fall of Reach novel and explore Master Chief's early years? You know, originally I thought that this would be a good idea, but the more I've thought about it, I'd rather just see a live-action film based on it, similar to the way they did Forward Unto Dawn. I know there's already sort of an hour-long cartoon feature out there for Fall of Reach, but it just barely scraped, or barely touched on the concept of what was in the actual book. I would love to see a live-action film based on it. I know that if they chose to do something like that, it could break the whole video games make terrible movies ideology. So I would hope they would go that route instead of making a game out of it. There's a lot of other really cool stuff out there that they can, in the Halo universe, that they could base games off instead. So there's certainly a lot of possibilities out there, especially after the Reclaimer saga is over. But again, I'd rather see the Fall of Reach told in the form of a live-action film. But let me know what you guys think. Would you like to see it in the form of a game, or would you like to see it in the form of a movie? Let me know in the comments below. Our next question comes from Joshua Ford. Joshua asks, Q&A, do you feel Microsoft will ever put out an open-source modern Halo? Well, I have to say that after what I saw them do with Halo Online, my answer would be no. I can't ever see them doing that. And it's a shame, too, because I still have very fond memories of the days when Halo Custom Edition first came out. And we saw a lot of really amazing things come from that, including SPV3. But it seems like Microsoft has sort of tightened their grip around the Halo franchise, and they really don't want anyone messing around with it. So I can't really see it unless it comes to a point where Halo just doesn't seem to be going anywhere, and that's the only way they feel like they can revive the franchise at all. But as it stands right now, I can't see it happening. But for the record, I would hope that one day that they would. I would love to see something like that personally, but you never know, right? Our next question comes from Nebulous Cheetah. And Nebulous Cheetah asks, Q&A, what are your thoughts on Star Wars as a whole and how Disney has handled Star Wars? You know, this is going to come as a shock to many of you, but I don't actually consider myself to be a Star Wars fan. I was when I was a kid. My dad showed me the first 3 movies when I was 8 years old, and I loved them. I was really into Star Wars probably from elementary school all the way through like at least part of middle school. And then I saw The Phantom Menace, and while I thought, you know, there were some cool scenes in there, I wasn't as impressed. Then I saw the next movie and was like, okay, this is not as exciting. In other words, the prequels, I guess, kind of killed it for me a little bit, but as time went on, you know, of course, eventually they released Episode 7, and I actually liked The Force Awakens. You know, and it's interesting because it seems like some people liked it at first and they turned on it later. Really, it's basically just an updated version of A New Hope. But I liked it. Of course, I saw Rogue One. It was okay. And then The Last Jedi just came out. And I saw it and I could understand why some people were really upset about it. I thought it was okay just simply because, again, I don't consider myself a Star Wars fan. I don't actually own any of the movies. I guess I would say, all things considered, if I were to take modern Star Wars and compare it to the prequels, I still kind of like the more modern version better. I do like the fact that they're actually setting up movies outside of the main ones, like Rogue One and Solo, A Star Wars Story. That looks like it could be interesting. So I guess for anything, at least they're releasing more movies, but I know that some people don't think that quantity is always better than quality, and that's understandable as well. Personally, I think they're okay. You know, I don't think they're anything groundbreaking, but I don't think they're bad either. But I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. What do you think of the direction that Disney took Star Wars? And our last question of the week, our star question, comes from Slim Starcraft. And he asks, Q&A, a question, what are your thoughts on the direction 343 has taken Halo? And this is going to come, you know, this is hard to really explain. Right now, I'm not overly thrilled with them, at least not with what they're doing with the franchise. And there are a few reasons for that, and I'm almost afraid at this point Halo might be difficult to save if they don't do something soon. Their last major AAA title, one of their main titles to the primary series, was Halo 5, and it had mixed to negative reviews from most people. People were okay with the multiplayer, even though a lot of people didn't like the enhanced mobility, so they prefer classic mode. It was still better than Halo 4. And of course, they've made new additions over time. They added the most powerful Forge mode we've ever seen. They've made it available for Windows 10, and those are all certainly positives. You know, people look at Halo Wars 2 and enjoy the art style for it. The problem with a game like Halo Wars 2 is it's an RTS, not an FPS. So a lot of people, like myself, consider it to be a side game, even if they enjoy it. And a lot of people who consider themselves fans of Halo don't always play those side games. Right now we're in 2018, almost 3 years after Halo 5 was initially released, a game that ended on a cliffhanger. We have not heard a single thing yet about Halo 6. This is the longest drought we've ever faced in terms of a major Halo title, and that's a little bit scary for some of us, because now all of a sudden there's, you know, some of us wonder if there actually is going to be a Halo 6 or what's going to come of that. Halo 5 again ended on a cliffhanger, and a lot of us want to see a resolution of that story along with some revolutionary gameplay. One thing that I've mentioned in previous videos is, you know, I think that in the next major Halo title they should at the very least have a classic Halo playlist, and I hope that they do that. But now I'm beginning to wonder if we're going to even see a major Halo title in the near future. It's been hinted at, and I strongly emphasize the word hinted here, that we may not see Halo 6 at E3 2019 or 2018, and if that's the case, then there is a strong possibility that we won't see Halo 6 until 2020. Some people say that, oh no, even if we don't see it at E3 this year, they could still feature it next year and release the game in the fall. I know Microsoft has gotten some flack in the past for advertising games too early, but I still think they would have a fairly lengthy campaign or ad campaign for Halos, because that's their star series right there. I don't think they would shaft it like that. I don't think they would pull a Cloverfield Paradox and then throw a trailer out there and then only a couple months later release the game. I think they'd want to, get people on the hype train a little bit. That's kind of what I'm afraid of. And so if we have this long drought here, what do? This isn't just for fans, this is for content creators, and that has me a little bit worried. What really bites this in even further is what just happened with Halo Online, where, you know, this community of modders released this game that people really took to, and in less than a week Microsoft told them, hey, you can't work on it anymore, and, you know, no one can host the file anymore, so no one can actually download it and play it. Those who have downloaded it, you know, don't have to worry, but they can't post any content about it, otherwise they risk getting a DMCA. So now people, on top of the fact that we don't see anything for a new Halo, and the last one was met with mixed reviews, and a lot of people are wanting classic gameplay, and then what happened with Halo Online, I'm kind of worried at this point about what the future of Halo really is. I want to give it hope, I want to stay positive about it, but I don't know. You know, I think that this year's E3 is going to be very telling about where the future of Halo is truly going to be. I mentioned earlier that Call of Duty releases games every year, and I think the only reason why that can be a strong suit is because it means that the developers are constantly working on new content. Even if it's not groundbreaking stuff, they're constantly releasing stuff for their community. Halo hasn't done that, and even if they don't release content, some news would be nice. Something, anything that we can, you know, savor, something that can get us hyped up for the next major Halo title, and right now, I'm just not seeing it. And so if E3 comes and goes and we have another E3 without Halo being mentioned at all, or at least the next major Halo title, I don't know where that's going to leave the franchise. You know, I don't think a TV series is going to save it. I don't think more DLC for Halo 5 or Halo Wars 2 is going to save it. I think that we need to start, at the very least, you know, I've said in the past that I don't mind Microsoft taking their time with the next major Halo title as long as they deliver. I just want to make sure that they're not keeping us completely in the dark. Give us something to talk about. Give us something to be excited for. And that's why I'm really concerned about if we can save Halo and where the direction of the series is going right now. Sometimes I wonder if even 343 really knows. I'd like to think that they do. But as of the way things are going right now, this seems to be sort of alien territory for Halo. No pun intended. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed for the best. I think my opinion about where they're taking Halo and whether or not Halo can still be salvaged, I think I'm going to have a more solid opinion about that after E3 of this year, but I want to hear what you guys think. Do you think we're going to see Halo 6 at E3 despite some of the hints that we've gotten? Do you think that if we don't see Halo at E3 this year that we still might get a 2019 release, or do you think Halo 6 is just being nixed altogether and we're not getting another major Halo title? I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments, thoughts and opinions in the comment section below, or feel free to hit me up on Twitter at MythicTyrant. A link to my Twitter feed can be found in the description below, and I want to take the time to thank each and every one of you for taking the time out of your day to sit back and watch this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, I hope you consider subscribing for more great content right here on MythicTower.com. Thank you guys and gals so much for watching. I'll catch you all right back here next time, and as always, I'm the Tyrant, signing off.